State Governor Nasir El-Rufai on Wednesday confirmed that he is still positive with COVID-19 virus, while there is palpable fear in Kano State as the incidence of COVID-19 witnessed an exponential rise in the state. Welcome to COVID-19 Situation Room of Television Nigerian, reaching you live at this time from our Hilltop Studios in Guzape, Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. I am Charles Ibe. Mr. Lawrence Audu joins us today on the Situation Room. Mr. Lawrence, you're welcome to Situation Room.
Glad to be here. Been on the streets all morning.
Exactly. And of course, Daniel Asai is also in the studio.
Thank you for having me too.
All right. Now, we take a quick break and the program will continue in a bit. Join us again. Thanks for staying tuned to the still COVID-19 Situation Room of Television Nigerian. And at this time in the Federal Capital Territory, we all know what we talk about when we come to this show. It's all about COVID-19. Now, it keeps increasing in Nigeria. It keeps increasing in states of the Federation. And despite everything, some level of fear is rising. Now, over 2,000 women, youths, and others on Wednesday protested in Sapele local government area, Delta State, over recent additional 14 days lockdown by the state government. Now, they took to the streets in a protest against what they described as insensitivity of the state government for extending the COVID-19 lockdown without palliatives. Now, we've been talking so much about palliatives. The peaceful protest suddenly resulted to violence when men of the Sapele police and some local vigilance group arrived at the scene of the protest, and one person was allegedly shot with several persons injured. Now, we have been talking about palliatives, what the government is doing, what the government is not doing, and right now we're having reactions. We talked about this briefly on Monday when this extension was announced, and could you say we had it coming, or we saw it coming?
Yeah, we discussed a lot about the palliative and the expectation from the federal government and state government, also local government, and from spirited Nigerians as regards the situation of the lockdown. We also said that if nothing is done, some persons who could not, may not be able to withstand hunger in these remaining 2 weeks could become lawless, though we advised against lawlessness, and we also consoled them in the situation that we begged the government to intervene. Like the government, I think, has said yesterday that they are preparing, using some yardsticks of people with 100 naira recharge card, people who normally recharge 100 naira in their phone and in their phones, and then people also who have at least below 5,000 naira in their accounts, and they are going to send some cash into these accounts. We don't know how much per se,
or even when it's going to start.
The only thing that the president said is something will get to us within the week.
Okay.
So we have 2 weeks.
When Dan said something will get to us, I'm beginning to wonder if Dan falls. When you say us, you averagely
the account will justify.
Calm down.
The account statement will justify.
Averagely, Dan.
Yeah.
Averagely, I don't expect that someone in your capacity
will be waiting for palliative.
or you're recharging your phone at 100 naira and then having less than 5,000 naira in your account. Well, if the main account with which you obtained your BBN,
yeah.
has less than 5,000 naira. The other accounts that you and I don't know about.
Yeah, that's another thing. Are they going to check every account that
The
is linked to
BVN
your
is
BVN?
automated. It can
Actually,
link to all the accounts you have.
I
And
think
they will check the whole account to
Yeah.
take a look at the balances in all of them.
Of course.
okay, talking about the palliative, I'll add my voice to it here. You see, Nigerians are very stubborn people.
I take an exception.
When I say Nigerians, we are all stubborn, right? It's an average. I mean, there's a benchmark for measuring that is a hypothesis for it. But as a matter of fact, how do you share palliatives to people? How does it get to the real people? Just yesterday, the media was awash of a story about the story of the local government council or somewhere in the northern part of the country that absconded about
with
30
30
bags
bags of
grains.
That's Niger State.
Yeah, in Niger State.
30 bags. I don't understand. Before you finish eating 30 bags of grains, they probably would have gone bad. Then again, I saw vehicles being looted. Day before yesterday, my mouth agape. That vision kept me down for quite a while. People attacking van conveying bread in Agege, that's in Lagos.
Could it be added to the level of hunger?
No,
Or
it hasn't gotten
desperation?
to that. I will
Okay.
explain this. We had first 2 weeks of the extension.
Yes.
Most of the people shouting and complaining and promoting, that apathy are people ordinarily who are well-to-do. I saw a video of one young man while he was watching the video of the president transmitting to Nigerians, extending the lockdown for another 2 weeks. And the guy was just bringing out his pots from the kitchen and then shouting and then saying, this man wants to kill us, blah, 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 blah. But I was not interested in what he was saying. I was interested in the ambience, the surrounding, the things in his room.
Yeah.
He had over a 58-inch screen, a television. There was an Apple MacBook somewhere there.
So obviously, he's a well-to-do.
Do you understand? So why all this show? The real people who need these palliatives, I'll be very surprised that it may not really get to them. The government has, made her intention known by way of saying, look, people who have enrolled, the poorest of the poor, the conditional cash transfer, we'll get to them. And indeed, I have been on the street and I've been monitoring these things, and I've seen that most of the people who actually enrolled as the poorest of the poor at the time the government announced that people should go and get enrolled have been paid.
Okay.
It happened in Anambra State, in Ekulobia. There were people who went there to collect money. In Niger State, in Edo State, all over the country.
About 19 states have benefited.
About 19. And then again, when the government said, look, guys, go and enroll if you know you are very poor. Some Nigerians were like, we're not going. And they did not go. And today, it has happened. The people who went are benefiting. Those who sat back, the naysayers, are the ones crying foul today.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of concern about the way those palliatives were distributed. We saw monies were being carried physical. The people were being given physical cash. And then there's a lot of questions about
sorry to cut you. I wouldn't want to be caught up in that web of asking how these monies came about and all that. You see, in a crisis situation such as this, Nigerians are not bothered about it. In fact, it is not. This is not the right time to even start asking. People need cash. You go and you transfer money to somebody's account. How does the person access the money?
You will get an alert, and you will...
No, you get an alert. That poor farmer, that poor trader in that village, in that community, where does she go to get the money from?
Okay, no
So
banks,
if this is a government,
Hmm.
okay, and then the central bank is up and doing, and they are able to find a way and get cash out from the vault or from wherever, so long as it is done within the confines of the law. The idea is give money to these people. They just say transfer money to them. Give them money. These people need cash
All right, now,
to buy tomato, to buy pepper,
Okay.
and to buy bread.
in line with this frame of thought, they say distribute money to Nigerians. Now, the SIPs are talking about vulnerable Nigerians, but it is not only vulnerable Nigerians that are locked down. Even people who ordinarily are not poor, but they depend on day-to-day earnings. If you go out, you work, you get food, you come back. You are not poor, you are not hungry.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, you are locked down. Now, that person obviously has an account. Okay, because it will be on a daily basis, he goes there, he drops 500 or 1,000 after a day's job. Now, he can't go out any longer. Perhaps the savings in his account has been exhausted. And now there are some palliatives for everybody. And you now took it to one village, and you're giving it to old women and who obviously might have somebody supporting them, because there are always some kind of support systems available. Now, these people that normally are outgoing, they are cut down.
Yes.
They are locked down. And these are the people that are showing more concern. And these are the people on the streets, not these vulnerable Nigerians.
Exactly.
These are the young men and young women, depending on daily pay.
Yes, could not have been on the street, because if you look at the definition of vulnerability, you will discover that the category of the normal day-to-day Nigerian that goes out to, get money and feed his family is not among that category. Also, don't forget that the disabled ones are also among the vulnerable, and they cannot, go out the way the ordinary owner of small, medium, and enterprises businesses could do. So I don't know what Mr. Lawrence, the angle is coming from, but I am of the opinion, like we have been discussing on this program, that it is important that anything worth doing is worth doing well, and that the government should use the statistics, the data statistics, to give. They have said they are coming up with one, and they've given a condition of people who load card of 100 naira or less than, if there is anything like less than, and people who have below 500,000, 5,000 in their account. Another incentive that they gave in form of loan was the 50 billion that was given to Nisar, microfinance bank, and they gave conditions of persons to benefit from them.
Which you and I know that if you look at the stringent measures, I'm not very sure that loan was going to go to.
It's completely like someone said in the process of, dragging people to go to, Nisar. Someone said if Dasuki could share about 4 billion naira dollars in just 2 hours, that 50 billion naira must have gone by now. And there is no need. So you could see, if I have an enterprise and I cannot go for my merchandise, it means I will lose some nairas in thousands, or if possible in millions, so long as I stay indoor. But I think people at that level should be considerate to say, let the poorest of the poor, or the common middlemen, Comrade Okafor will say Nigeria don't have middlemen, we have the poor and the rich. We don't have middle class people in the country, but I think we do have. I and you, we are middle class Nigerians.
All right. Now, the president, when he was giving the speech of the extension, he did make an allusion to the fact that these palliatives kind of, we talked about it on the, is it like tactically shifting it to the states? Because obviously because of the outcry that came up with the first the first extension, when people talked about we are locking us down with nothing. Now, when the second round came up, the president like, okay, the states are going to take care of it. But even though he now announced an additional 1 million families or households that are going to benefit. Now, do you see, going by the events that happened in Delta State, is there a possibility that the states are overwhelmed with the responsibility now that they have to face? Don't forget the fact that we saw northern governors said that they cannot cope with this lockdown.
Yesterday they came out.
There's no money to say all of that. And then we are already seeing uprising in the south. So what do you say about this whole situation?
That's a very tough one. You see, if the states are already complaining that they don't have the capacity to manage this thing, don't also forget that a lot is at play here. If the government is sending money or transferring the responsibility of the state, of course, it won't just pronounce, it's going to back, the government will back them up by providing resources for them to be able to do this. I'm very, very much afraid that the states, will not be able to meet up to the expectation.
Okay. Like in the Delta State, I did see on news the Commissioner for Information, he was actually talking about the efforts that their government has been making and all of that, and he did allude to perhaps there is some kind of partisanship that is going on. This is what
I was trying to drive at.
Yeah.
Somebody complained the other day. Someone from my locality shared palliatives to people. There were some people who benefited, who are neither of the two major political parties. This I know. It got to everybody, not simply because you belong to one political party or the other. But one of my uncles called and said, that's your chairman, he was just giving palliatives to only PDP members. Another person called me and said, somebody came, one of those your philanthropic people, and he was giving to only APC. Now, you are going to hear all these things. You're going to hear all these things.
Yeah, but the fact is this, the people are affiliated to parties, political parties.
This situation, in this situation, you cannot say because you are not affiliated to my political party, you shouldn't get this. No. If you say you are protecting only the APC members against the PDP members or vice versa, you've given sanitizer, you protected that APC guy, you go in the evening and have a romance with that PDP girl or somebody who sympathizes with them. And then something happens. It still comes back to you. In this scenario, we need to come up with situations where we have a level playing ground. Everyone.
Let it just be a gesture.
In fact, at this point in time, honestly, I'm going to come down very hard on the opposition party, the PDP and other political parties. You see, they keep playing party politics with this issue. Buhari said this is not a joke.
Yes.
And it's truly not a joke. Go and watch international media. While people were, before the second statement President Buhari made, I was telling someone and I said, look, so long as we are seeing these indices from the Western world, they are not relaxing their own. Nigeria can never relax it. Because whatever happens there, it trickles down. So you cannot relax your lockdown when the advanced world that is worse hit is still holding forth. You can only relax when they have given you the signs, not because you are so dependent on them, but you know how things work. If you relax your own and somebody sneaks in, mingles around with people and spreads it, what do? You can only begin to think of relaxing it when those guys over there have seen that, look, okay, we found a cure, there's a vaccine, there's something that needs to be done, okay, you can take this is the drug for it and all that. Then you can now confidently say, okay, fine, in case somebody contracts this or has these symptoms, this is what we can give to the person and the person will be fine. In that instance, you actually will be able to, say you want to relax the issue. Then I'm talking about political parties earlier on. I'm like, look, what has the PDP as a party. I'm not trying to be political. Please, even our viewers, don't look at it from that perspective. I'm not referring to only the PDP as a party. Every other political party, what have they been able to do? How much have they been able to conscientize their own people, their followers, on how to come together? I also expect the ruling party to call the opposition and say, come on, this issue we are dealing with, see, it's not about this and that anymore. It's about humanity, collective humanity. None of them is issuing statements. None is saying anything. They are picking holes, on one another's efforts and failures. It's very bad.
I think when it all started and it hit Nigeria, I remember very well that the PDP presidential candidate in the 2019 election, Atiku,
Yes.
I am not his fan, but I heard him saying that, addressing even his party men, that this is beyond politics. We should synergize to do what? To fight the COVID-19. Then eventually, just 2-3 weeks after, his son, he announced that his son became positive.
Yeah.
I think the wife of our president, the first lady, was the first who sent a commiserative message to him on behalf of the first family of the country. If we take it from that backdrop, from that background, I could say that it has not been that political, except when people when people goes with palliatives and they want to play the partisan affiliation politics.
No, Dan, there's something you missed out of this. There's something you missed out.
Yes.
You see, for Atiku to first of all announce, call on his supporters and the opposition party to come together and work with the government or whoever is responsible to end the scourge, is very commendable.
Yes.
He has not played politics.
Yes.
He has just acted like a human being.
Like a leader also.
Yes.
Like a leader. For Mrs. Buhari to even, when Atiku's son, was found to be infected or contaminated, not commiserating at this time, showing solidarity.
Yes.
Nobody has died.
Okay.
Showing solidarity with Atiku also tells you one thing. She realized the fact that, look, this is not a political party.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it could get to anybody.
And when her daughter came back from the UK, she announced and said, look, our daughter is back from the UK. The UK is one place that has had a growing spate of infection. Our daughter just came back and she has gone into isolation and she's going to be there for 14 days. That too was commendable.
Yeah, very.
But a lot of Nigerians didn't even see it from that perspective. Then, by and large, the elites, they understand themselves. They know where to draw the line.
Exactly.
Yes.
Of politics.
If Atiku's son wants to marry Buhari's daughter today, Atiku and Buhari they will overlook
Whatever divide.
Or political divide.
They now look at, okay, yeah, fine.
They love themselves.
The young people are fine. That's when you will know that these guys don't even have problem at the top.
They don't. That's the reality. But do the ordinary Nigerian know this?
This is where the problem is.
Yes.
Recently, yesterday, I went to monitor an area where palliatives are being expected. And people were asked to write their names. So I got there, not because I wanted to write my name. I went there to observe.
Yes.
Because that's what,
yes,
on TVN, most of our reporters have been out and you're observing.
Yes.
I've been on the streets all morning. I've observed, and the reports are there. Getting into the center where the palliatives had not come. People were just being documented. And when I got there, somebody looked at me and said, so where are you coming from? Are you just coming? we are finished writing names. Go and meet that woman.
Yes.
So I pretended like, okay, I want to.
Yeah.
I said, madam, so can I put down my name? She said, no, you are late. I'm like, okay, fine. So I stood and I saw how Nigerians are maltreating themselves.
Can you imagine?
Luckily for me, I have a good job.
Of course.
I'm grateful about it.
Of course.
I'm not going after the palliatives. Because we have been, we have gotten to a point where we should give palliatives to our own neighbors because our employers have been nice to us.
Exactly.
So my going there was not to go and collect whatever measure they were giving.
You were investigating
I was
enough.
just looking at it.
They didn't understand it.
But I saw how
Give
give power, small power to one
To
Nigerian. Just give him pen and paper. Okay, you sit down here. I don't want writing people's names now. You will see how much he will use power
to do.
It tells you, he commands people, and it boils down to the fact that, see, palliatives. This is just a lesson.
A very big one for us.
If we are getting COVID-19 in Nigeria, or we are, I'm sorry, I will tell you that. Let me just.
Can I just ask?
Let me just make this point. I'm sorry. I'm holding forth. I'm trying as much as possible not to say it, but let me just say it in a subtle way. Another pandemic is going to come. Another issue of of epic proportion is going to arise, and government will need to reach out. How do you reach out when you have not captured the data of your people? There are so many organizations in Nigeria capturing data. The VIO is capturing, the Federal Road Safety is capturing,
the
banks are capturing, NIN, they're all capturing. INEC is capturing.
There's no harmonization.
There's no harmonization. There are so many Nigerians that have different data inputs in all the different organizations. At Road Safety,
even the networks that everybody uses.
Yes.
Even the phone.
Even the networks.
Yeah.
They are on for NIN. Their date of birth is 1984. At Road Safety Office, their date of birth is 1998. In the banks, their date of birth is 1979. So there is no harmony. We need to get to a point where, Nigerians, and it's all boys, and you don't blame these people. You want to get a job, they are telling you that you have to be this, you have to be that. And you find out that Nigerians are busy changing their just let it be. If you have to get a job, get a job, right? So all these things will not be there. Then I'm calling on the government again to look at the NIN, and if NIN is supposed to be the one to take the data and harmonize.
And the NIMC.
That's NIMC, right?
NIN is under NIMC.
Yeah, I'm talking. Okay, I actually meant to say NIMC. Thank you very much for the clarification. So if NIMC is supposed to be responsible for data capturing, let the banks, let NIMC do it. But it has taken more than 4 years.
I've not gotten
a lot of us have registered. We don't even have.
3 years.
It's not there.
And I don't have it.
So if you
don't have the slip.
I have the slip. The real thing, if you go there, they will tell you, they will send you a message.
He's even lucky to have the slip.
But the government is making use of the slip.
Oh, excuse me. This man is even lucky to have the slip. What is if I ask you, there are a lot of people, if you ask them what is their NIN code, they don't even know. They don't have it. So we should get to a point where our data is properly captured, everybody is properly registered. It's going to reduce incidents of security, of insecurity.
Exactly.
You know that in the UK, they just hold you, put your finger, your thumb,
and everything about you
comes.
But the National Identification Management Commission, which is the NIMC, 2 or 3 months ago, they advertised, and I think the FG has given them money to for the commission to create a data bank, a harmonized national identification.
They can't even manage them. See, it's in NIMC. It's in NIMC. It's in NIMC. I am saying it here. I am saying it here so that they understand. Even their Twitter handle is laughable.
You see,
They're not even ready.
I think you are
You see,
correct.
see,
Just like
it's not about, look, we are patriotic. There are some organizations that when they are not doing what they ought to do, look, do you know how much money has been given?
Exactly, that's what
Go
I
and
was
check
going
the
to do.
budget.
That's what I'm saying.
If they are not doing it, we can't just sit down here and say, okay, because we are patriotic. No, that's not how to be patriotic.
Of course, we must
Patriotism,
hold
you
them.
call them out.
Yes, we
Go
must
and
hold
check
them
their Twitter
accountable.
handle. Check when last did they update their Twitter handle. What was the message that was sent the last time? If they cannot manage a common Twitter handle that the administrator, whoever is managing the Twitter, even if he's lying in his bed,
He can just
you can update. No.
And they are collecting salaries.
National Orientation Agency, where have they been in the build-up to this COVID-19? They are nowhere. It's just it's a non-existent agency as far as I'm concerned. I'm sorry about this, but it is the truth.
Their director general came up.
Oh, they have a DG.
They do.
What's his
When
name?
They do.
They've been
sometimes
making sentences, even during the time of the expectation of.
I think these are the
Chinese experts.
Let me tell you
Came up
something.
to
Let me
give
tell you something.
clarifications
Let me tell you
and all of
something.
that.
Let me look. If the National Orientation Agency was up to its game, I am telling you that Nigerians would have been so way sensitized.
More than we have currently.
Go and look at their budget and see if these guys are actually living up to expectations. Do you know how Ministry of Information used to work in those days? I mean, we're contemporaries in age somehow. When I say contemporaries, you know back then, Ministry of Information, they used to have a megaphone on top of their vehicle, the Land Cruiser, that Defender Land Cruiser. They come to the villages to make announcements. If there is going to be an immunization for polio, they come to the market, Nkwo market, or any of the markets, and they make announcement in Igbo language. In my own case, they make it in my own language. In the northern part, they make it in Hausa. Everybody understands, oh, okay, on so day, people will come.
Exactly.
And then you will go there and get inoculated. And they were very effective. In the era where you never had social media. How much more you have Twitter today, you have Facebook, you have all.
That can help you in the dissemination of the information. Well, it's been the COVID-19 situation. We've just been talking about some issues of concern, especially with the distribution of palliatives. It's not yet over. We're still going to talk more about what's happening. But let's go to the news desk to get some news headlines, and then the program continues after that. Many thanks for staying tuned. It's just the Situation Room, Television Nigerian. We just saw some news headlines there. And then in addition to that, the National Human Rights Commission on Wednesday said it was worried that within the initial lockdown period of 2 weeks, security agents across the country extrajudicially killed more Nigerians than the dreaded coronavirus. Now, the commission in a statement signed by its executive secretary, Tony Ojukwu, decried that whereas COVID-19 only led to the death of about 12 patients in the country, as of last Tuesday, a total of 18 persons were illegally executed by law enforcement agents to enforce the lockdown regulations. Now, it's observed that they had about 105 complaints through incidents of human rights violation, and it received and documented within the initial lockdown period. And out of that number, Lagos State had the highest recorded cases with 28 incidents, followed by the FCT Abuja, which had 10 recorded cases. And the commission also revealed that it got 8 documented incidents of extrajudicial killings that led to 18 deaths, adding that of this number, 12 deaths were recorded in Kaduna State. Abia State had 2 deaths arising from incidents, while Delta, Niger, Ebonyi, and Katsina recorded 1 death each. Now, this coming from the National Nigeria Center for Human Rights, isn't it quite worrisome?
While I was driving here this morning, I was listening to the radio, and I heard the report. It's quite unfortunate that security agencies would descend so low. Nigerian security agencies are known globally to be of high
exactly
moral and disciplinary standards. Then we begin to look again. Were those attacks provoked? In the first week of the lockdown, especially in Delta State, a soldier was killed. It led to a situation where some soldiers in somewhere in the Ibadan axis were arrested. I'm trying to find, I think it was 2nd Battalion, 2nd Div, were arrested for shooting a video announcing that they were going to come rape women in Warri, Delta State.
Yeah.
Don't also forget that in the military they have this thing. It's unofficial, but it's a pride within them, which is all for one, one for all.
Yes.
If you know how much it takes for the government to produce one single soldier, a single soldier is an armory on its own, a moving armory. Yeah. And the government puts in so much money to train these guys. Yet some of them become very unruly. And those ones who have been unruly have been paying for it, especially with during the time of General Tuku Buratai, the Chief of Army Staff. I've seen so many soldiers pay for the crimes they have committed.
Yeah, we've had a lot of court-martialing.
A lot of court-martial. And soldiers who have behaved well have been rewarded. Only recently, some soldiers were promoted in the Northeast. As I'm talking to you now, the man is leading the operation in the Northeast. Yeah. He's there with his boys. With himself. Sometimes he comes with, feed. He tries to serve when it's luncheon. The spirit is charged over there.
Yes.
So you have a good leadership. And the army has also established the human rights desk.
But what actually happens when you see footages, real video evidence?
I'm coming to that.
Army harassing.
There's some things I need to also point out.
Okay.
The army, before you interjected, has established what they call the human rights desk. So you can actually forward any claims to the army and say, look, a soldier at also time, at also point, harassed me at also time. They will investigate. If that soldier is found culpable, I can assure you, to the best of my knowledge, those soldiers never went scot-free.
But do Nigerians know about this desk?
Or the address?
The human rights office, especially in Abuja, is in Garki. It's not even at the army headquarters. It's somewhere away that you can even access without all the security checks.
Okay.
You can actually go there. It's outside the army headquarters.
All right.
Do you understand? For those who don't know, I am not their spokesperson, but of course, working closely around them, I have this information. You can always approach. And some of the videos, like Dan pointed out now, some of the videos didn't happen here. Some of the videos happened around 2014.
Okay, and now
We have had to
situation,
review,
just
yeah,
playing
yes,
back.
we have had to review, and some prominent Nigerians too have been fueling this in terms of fake news. This is the problem we're having.
But for what gain?
No, the thing is this. For some people who think they have lost touch with the reality or lost touch with the power at the center, they can do anything. So, that's what we're saying. Because, okay, look at the issue that happened with the Chadian forces and the Niger and Boko Haram recently. I'm not trying to digress, but at every opportunity we have, it is always important to stress this point.
Yeah.
Idris Deby went to the tumbles, to the fringes of the Lake Chad Basin, and carried out operations with his military in his own territory. Don't forget that this same Idris Deby blackmailed former President Jonathan. When the Chibok girls were abducted, it was Idris Deby who made it very difficult for the Nigerian troops to access Boko Haram camps. And those Boko Haram, to rescue the girls. And most of those Boko Haram, most of these girls were taken into Chad. So, because Idris Deby's government is now threatened, because the deal he had with France or some of those countries sponsoring terror and Shekau himself had backfired, and he feels very threatened.
Yeah.
Don't also forget that most of the people that were killed in that expedition last week or week before last were rebels who were opposed to his government.
Yes.
So he came out all out with his son, and they fought. That operation is a very small operation that should have been carried out by a major in the Nigerian army. But the whole commander-in-chief of a country went and sat down in the bush with troops because
You wanted to score some points.
Yeah, to score some points. And those points we already know. Idris Deby has been behind Boko Haram ever since. He has given them landing space. He has given those people who come there to supply weapons to Boko Haram. He gives them airspace. He gives them airstrips.
And now he said he has killed Shekau.
No, that's not. No, he didn't say he killed Shekau. Idris Deby said he has killed 90% of Boko Haram. Now let's look at it here. No, this is simple mathematics.
Anyway,
if you have killed 90%, no, we'll come to the point. Let's just finish it. You have killed 90% of Boko Haram, and he announced by killing that 90%, he said 1,000 Boko Haram operatives or insurgents were killed. He killed 90%, Abi. So it's remaining how many? 10%.
10%.
So what is the 10% of 100 of 1,000? That's 100.
100.
So it's only 100 Boko Haram that is remaining. Oh, Idris Deby. So you know the number of Boko Haram because you were their recruiter. You killed 1,000. You say you have killed 90%. Oh, fine, we agree. So that 100 now, you don't even need a battalion to go and fight. You just need a company.
Few soldiers can
a company, Chinese company can advance.
You should just read
They will even kill them with bullets, catch them, and kill them with sticks.
Yes.
So some of these things, when we make presumptuous statements, let's also be watchful. If you make a statement to put a country, to put the citizens, to paint a country in a bad light, and then pitch her citizens against the leadership that are trying to make, also watch it because you get yourself into trouble.
Exactly.
So by and large, back into the situation now. Human rights, Nigerian military, Nigerian security services. Since the lockdown began, our viewers sometimes may not understand these things. Don't sit in the comfort of your living room and you think you can just say things anyhow. we have been on the streets. At least we are cleared to move.
Around. Yeah.
I know you are a security expert and you've been with them, so you tell us more.
As a journalist self,
yes, you've been with them.
I crossed about 4 checkpoints before coming to the office today. The only thing they require of you is your ID card.
ID card.
They don't even ask you questions. They stay far away. Flash them the ID card. If they are satisfied, they let you go. If they are not satisfied, they will ask you a few questions. Be polite when you talk to these people. They have left their families.
That is
and they are standing on the road in a lockdown. They are also thinking of how to get food to their families. Now they are not collecting things from you. They are standing and assisting to making sure that things go well. So what is wrong with you being polite? You are polite, they stop you. Oh, sorry. You don't even need to talk. I didn't exchange with any of them. With the 4 checkpoints I crossed before coming here. I just flashed my ID. And they're like, oh, okay. They cross you. But I saw other people that were asked to either turn back or they parked their vehicles. Last week, a video emerged of a guy somewhere around the UN building there, around Area 1 here in Abuja. They stopped him. The next thing, he came down from his car, ranting and shouting, pulled his clothes and threw away, and got himself stark naked. The videos are there. I'm not just throwing them up. And said, mentioned where he comes from, and said he's looking for food for his family. Look, the reason why they even arrested him in the first place is one, he was driving an overloaded vehicle.
Okay, he had people. He was carrying people inside the
overloaded, not just carrying people.
In this COVID-19 distance.
Overloaded. The vehicle was overloaded. Overloaded vehicle 1. Oh, where are you going to? You should not talk to me. My family, blah, 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 blah. It was also discovered that he was charging those people 2 times the normal fare. All of us know that
one I can agree with you.
Has been reduced.
So
why are you charging, even if you have to, systematically, the security operatives say, when they see you, and they see that you are even looking responsible, the judgment, they might just,
hard time.
They just, they understand this thing. So long as you have not endangered yourself, endangered the people in the vehicle, sometimes they could just overlook.
And then warn you that next time.
So you carry, there are 3 people in the front and 4 people behind in a small taxi. 3 people, including the driver. You're supposed to have one person. Normal taxi movement. It's supposed to be 3 people behind and one person in front.
Perhaps the guy really displayed his real nature by pulling his clothes down. Perhaps he had some.
No, even those that agreed to enter the vehicle in that condition,
they needed to get to
no, they don't have a choice. Some of them are essential workers that need to get to their destination
on time.
But not have vehicles to move around, and maybe their organization couldn't provide staff buses or taxis for them to move. So when they find that, and usually sometimes when people who are involved in these things are moving, and you see some people, sometimes I've given 2 people lift before. But even before I gave them the lift, I asked them if they were essential workers. Are you an essential worker? He said, yes, sir. I'm sorry, can I see your ID card? I want to be on the side of the law.
Yes. Exactly. Which is the right thing to do.
So when I see the ID card, the 2 of them were even medical personnel. Closing from the clinic, from the hospital and heading home. I was glad to help.
Yeah.
Not just one random guy who feels, I'm so bored staying at home, I want to go and check your friend. I'm sorry, go back to where you're coming from.
All right, now, but I also, does it remove the fact that there are actually some security agencies who are perhaps overzealous in what they did? I saw a video yesterday about a security, I think somewhere, I think it's on the airport road or thereabouts. They were stopping a lady. Either the lady refused to stop, and then I saw a security officer jump on top of the moving vehicle.
See,
and it was driving.
I saw that thing. It was quite unfortunate.
But why should you, in the first place, refuse to stop?
No, but even when they refused to,
no, her excuse was not. Her excuse is watered. See, If policeman stops you, he's a law enforcement agent. Okay? She said the man is not wearing a face mask. That's why she refused to stop. But this same lady had a bandana tied across her nose. As you clear, you see, these security agents are human beings like you and I. The only difference is the uniform and the arms they carry. And then the training, of course. Okay? Now, for the training itself, should even let that man know that he should, keep a safe distance from the lady. But you, a lady, a policeman stops you, or whoever you are, you ought to stop. From afar, you can tell him politely, officer, don't have a face mask. And you explain where you're going and identify yourself. In fact, from what I said earlier on, I told you I crossed 4 checkpoints this morning before getting here. I never exchanged a word with any of them. And amongst all those people I have met, maybe 1 or 2 of them should be unruly naturally. But why didn't I get such treatment? Respect them.
And they will respect
it is not, yes, they will respect you. You get close to where they are standing. If it means putting on your inner lights, please do it. If it means, be cautious when you talk to these guys. They are not your slaves. They are there doing their own job to protect you.
But then should they overreact when people don't give them that?
No, they don't have any right to overreact. That is where the training comes in. A policeman is a gentleman. Naturally, that's how it's supposed to be. Before you police a nation, your intellect should be very high, above the average.
Well, this is where I will come in now. Because just 2 days ago, by the roadside of this office, just at the corner here, they came to raid people from the shops. The people there, they kept social distance. They were suspected to be taking beer.
Suspected, or they were seen to be taking?
No, they were not taking beer.
Maybe that was a bar where beer is being sold.
No, I'm just looking at the mode at which the policemen endanger themselves too.
Okay.
We're talking about their intellectual, well-being. I don't think, maybe we need more education. More training.
No, you see, as we are talking
here, for training periodically.
Yes.
See, the average policeman has refused to learn or to be conducted or schooled to keep to their etiquette. I look at the way they came down from their vehicle with the rifle shouting, hey. I have not seen soldier men behaving like that. I used to cross checkpoints and I'm trying to really analyze what I saw. It's not as if I was told. Hey, then I stood, I wanted to camera then. I said, stop! I stopped. Then he came closer and I said, oh God, do you know you are even endangering yourself? I was the one that I said, you are not keeping social distance. All of you pack yourselves like sardine in the vehicle. The vehicle numbered about 10 in convoy. And they were feeding it, passing this Asokoro like this, going on. And they stopped. They came down. In fact, so if you are enforcing law on lockdown, you should also think of yourself that if you really know that this thing that you are enforcing the law is actually true, so why endangering your life? The whole of them, no one apart from the one sitting inside, may be suspected to be their leader that put a face mask.
See, Dan, you're very right.
You understand?
You're very correct.
And
you see some of these boys, look, that we try to make a case for them as an institution.
Yes.
As an institution, it's a different thing. When you come down to the personalities involved, what is a recruitment process? How did some of them
entered into the force?
Exactly.
Some of them are not actually qualified.
Something is really
wrong. A lot
wrong.
of them are not qualified to be in there.
But
as an institution, it's a disciplined institution. The Nigerian security agencies, the list of them are very disciplined and they are best in Africa. Take them anywhere, they perform. But when you come home, they now begin to look at the nitty-gritty and then, oh, okay, the familiarity issue and all that.
Yeah.
And some of them, actually, after that operation, will look for the nearest bar and still find something to drink. No, that's the truth. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, okay, sometimes ago, I was in my neighborhood. We had a place where there's a small market where you go to buy vegetables. And the people, I did a report from that market the other day. The guys are so organized. You know, as you're coming, they just, the man waves you there. And then if you ask you what amount of vegetable you want to buy, he has his gloves on. He picks them up, picks, put them in a bag and drops like that. You pick it up, he tells you the price, you drop it, he comes, you know, his boy with another glove picks the money and puts in the pouch. Okay? Then somewhere down, they had a drinking spot. So after doing that report, I decided to, you know, go down to see and then interact with these guys. While I was there, I was just coming in. The police were now coming in. They ignored the market. Now went to where the people were
drinking.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, when the police were coming, some other guys took to their heels. So one of them that was, you know, not too far from where I was standing was just going to run. I was like, "Are you a criminal?" He said, "No." "So where are you running to?" You know, I know you're there among them. I said, "No, I'm just asking." You just cited the police and then you're taking
started running.
It means that something is wrong.
Yeah, but also there are some. I've witnessed some. I've had a close friend who had that kind of experience. He was just walking on the road, and then the police all of a sudden started arresting everybody and threw them. He had to pay.
No, this thing. This thing is
victims
Let me
of
tell you something.
circumstances, and
You
they
see,
wouldn't
but
listen
it
to
is
you.
minimized to a large extent if you can identify yourself.
Yeah.
But just imagine if the police are arresting, you're a journalist. You could be of another profession.
In a situation where you explain yourself,
no, so it gets to a point.
they insist, they must take you to cell,
sometimes
and then for you to come and
see,
bail, you must be bailed. Let's go so that Oga will see, hear you first.
I've
You
been
have
at
to
a place standing, and the police, I didn't even know it was a flashpoint. I was just sitting, and the police came. The next thing I saw people running helter-skelter. But I have this habit. If the police is arresting people randomly, I don't move. I don't move an inch. Sometimes I will sit down, they will finish arresting, and they will go.
Maybe they look at you, okay, you look responsible. Because in that case that I told you, the guy just stepped out of his house to go and buy a recharge card. So does it mean even
I
if
was
you have,
dressed.
even if you, no, they don't give a damn about how you look.
So
Anybody they see,
these
at
things
that
have
point in
happened.
time,
See, these things,
they round you up.
These things have happened.
Yeah.
They you know the circumstances. So maybe I've been very lucky. Yeah, but there are some instances that, you know, these things happen a lot of times. They just take you in. This is why we keep saying, you know, calling out on the authorities that look, these guys should be retrained. Each time, every evening before they go out for any operation, they should be briefed properly. But again, the Nigerian police and the Nigerian security services are Nigerians.
Exactly.
And from the same neighborhood that we all come from, and they know how we behave.
Exactly. I've seen a neighborhood somewhere in the outskirts, not along the major roads, where they just mounted these roadblocks because of this COVID-19 lockdown. All you just need to do, if you're a keke, you just stretch out your hand and drop stuff and then you move. Policemen. I mean, and it's unfortunate. It's happening. And it
if we have those things documented, you know, like what Tony Ojukwu said, you know, it's not far from the truth.
Yes.
If the total number of people that would have died of coronavirus in Nigeria are just 12, and the security agencies have killed 18, what have we done? Let's remove the barricade. Let everybody move around.
Let the professional policemen, the professional soldiers come on the road.
So
let them patrol.
the professional ones.
But the people
How do you identify the professional ones and the non-professional?
Well, you said they have good training, and they have people who train them.
No,
they're psychological
don't
beings.
misunderstand what I'm saying.
So put
amongst all these people,
yes,
there are some who are in there and doing the right thing, and there are some amongst them. It's a mixed breed.
Well, let me put it clear like this: if I am the IGP, or I am the DPO, or I am the AIG in charge of zone, I should, if I have given training to my personnel and sending them out, I should be able to know their psychological and physical conduct.
Dan, don't also forget that you have shortage in manpower.
We should recruit more. We have millions.
We are
trying to give solution. We are not trying to gag anything here. The Nigerian police always for the bad reason, and it is not good. Look, how many times are we bringing the Nigerian army like that to the media? The Air Force, the Navy, the soldiers, you understand? So if you have been charged with that responsibility, you want to dispatch your personnel out, please look for those ones with ethical conduct that will keep to the code. I think it is possible, and where you can't find them, then apply technology. I think they have this technology too. They have so. Let's take a short break, and after we'll come back.
Okay, we will take a short break right now, and we will come back. The program will continue. Stay tuned.
Good break since. Done.
Can never go break.
We didn't go in. He was doing hand like continue.
I pledge to Nigeria, my country. So goes the opening lines of the 6-line National Pledge of Nigeria. Today, not a few, whether young or old, merely recite the National Pledge as a matter of routine or tradition, with their hearts being poles apart from the very spirit, creed, and essence of the pledge. Many simply do not understand its purport or feel the import of it, while many others choose to observe the pledge in breach only. Today we have decided to walk on the footpath of the very words of the National Pledge, keeping its vision and essence in our hearts, in our souls, and in our minds.
I pledge
Nigeria,
my country,
to be faithful,
loyal, and honest,
to serve Nigeria with all my strength,
to defend her unity,
and uphold her honor and glory.
So help me God. Nigeria, no doubt, will truly be the giant of Africa, developed and well rated in all indices, if her national pledge is treated with sacred obedience. It's on us, it's our duty and responsibility to make this country a better place. Let's live the pledge.
This is Television Nigerian, a broadcast network committed to serving you the very best in online and offline television programming. Situated in the serene environment of Guzape, Abuja FCT, TVN, as it is fondly called, caters to a wide variety of audience via carefully orchestrated mind-blowing programs in the areas of fashion, business, politics, entertainment, religion, movies, food and health, culture and lifestyle, events around the globe, sports and foreign news. Whatever your inclination, we've got you completely covered with programs like Issues of the Moment, The Patriot, Daybreak Nigeria, Matter Africa, TVN Business Time, Healthy Living, From the Cradle, Stay Inspired, Entertainment Gist, Movie Hour, Hits Paradise, among others. All designed to keep you thoroughly informed, entertained, at the edge of your seats and yearning for more. A tour around our domain will reveal a highly dedicated staff force and a state-of-the-art facility and equipment for high-definition quality broadcast, making our station your #1 choice in advertising your business and propagating your ideas. We are currently on Nigecomsat doing our test transmission for takeoff in the nearest future. Television Nigerian is located in Nigeria at Television Nigerian House, Guzape Hilltop Mansion, beside Guzape White House, Guzape Abuja FCT, and in the United Kingdom at 45 Ancient House, 48 Aerodrome Road.
Measurement the government used to identify the vulnerables. As far as somebody have been home for more than a week or two, going to 3 weeks now, everybody become a vulnerable person.
If you are opportunity to see President today, based on what is going on in the country, what will you tell him?
Okay, what I will advise the president is they are trying on this issue of COVID-19. The sickness is like emergency. It's not into budget. So what they are doing, they are trying a lot, but there is a lot of problem. They need to monitor, especially the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs. They're supposed to monitor people that they are giving money, the contractors, the people they are giving money to share, people they are giving food to share. Look at this Abuja. Indigene, most of indigene, whatever they are bringing, they are hugging it. And the non-indigene are the people that sit on the sun during the election. They are people that sit on the sun, whatever that is it. But in indigene now, most of them are hugging the food. They are hugging the food instead of sharing to everybody. Look at our area, Kuba here. No food, no rice, no money. They just take our names, and the next day what we are hearing is 5 or something billion. Where? How? I need someone to explain to us. The ministry is not monitoring. Even all the whatever government is doing,
they're supposed to be monitoring. If they are not monitoring, some road they do it in the next 3 months is spoiled because they are not monitoring. People that are supposed to monitor those roads are not monitoring it. People supposed to monitor contracts are not monitoring contracts. That is the area this government is failing. Monitoring.
That will confirm to me that people of Cuba here have not received anything.
People of Cuba never receive anything. Cuba general, they never receive anything. Nothing. We have a lot of widows. We have a lot of orphans. We have a lot of less privileged. Some of them are marrying 4, 5 wives. Every day I buy 52 bags of yam, and I have share it all. I buy 3 bags of rice as I can buy. I share it one mudu. A lot of people are crying. Community coming here in my gate every morning, crying, lying down. What will I do? So please, we are begging them. We are begging them. In this our community, we take care of our police station. We take care of our road. We take care of everything. Transformer. I'm praising our people. People are cooperating in this community. Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, all the language are here. We are working in with one heart. But we need government assistance.
This is our community. This is Gbasango West community. Power line session. Presently, Kubwa, in Kubwa, FCT Kubwa. Presently, I'm the chairman of this community here. And we know what is on ground now, this COVID-19 palaba, this pandemic. And based on your question, you say, if I happen to see the president, what will I tell you? What will I tell him is that truly they are doing their best to see how to curb this pandemic. But this one have resulted into, this clampdown have resulted into hungry on the land. People are really suffering. People are really suffering. We must say the truth. People who depend on daily earning, mostly for this community, most of them cannot even feed. And the palliative the government say they were giving, we have been hearing over television, we have been seeing people talking about, but this community, we have not seen any. Over 2 weeks, exactly 4th of April, they came here that people should write name. Those vulnerable and those less privileged, the poor of the poorest. And I directed some of my executives to do a follow-up, and they wrote a lot of names. Almost 200 lists was given to them. But up to now, we have not heard from them. So this is a problem right now.
But even they have not shared even one person, not here from this community.
To the best of my knowledge, and based on the information I gathered from the executives around this community, either money or food, nothing has been shared to anybody. We did not have information based on that. But I think there's a woman they said they sent across to us here to supervise that sharing of food or money. But up to now, they said they called the woman said they are still trying to sort something out inside the main town in Abuja. But those of us in this satellite town, Kuba here, at this Gbasango power line section here, we have not seen anything. I still repeat myself, we have not seen any.
No, I came from this Gbasango West community, and I was the. It's as one is not functioning at all. I could have maybe the people that were sending to the masses. I don't know, maybe that is where the problem lies. But they should find another means how they can reach to the people. You know, by selecting some people to be distributing this, we are all Nigerians. We know what could happen. But there are many other means that they can get to the source, that people will get what they are giving to them.
What that means,
No, there are many other means. No, people have been suggesting on screen, on media, on everything that if I thought they could use any means of BVN, through local government. You know, when they are getting food from people, they pass through some means to get people's food. Why can't they pass through that means to reach people to alleviate their problem of hunger? That could have been better.
Which medium do you think will be the best?
No, the medium that we are meeting you is one of the medium. When you want to come for an interview, you pass through one medium to reach us. That medium can also be passed through a chairman of each community. Even if they go to the police station here, DPO Kubwa Phase 4, DPO Biaji, we used to have meeting with them, the meeting of landlord association, and that from there they can get data of how many chairmen within Kubwa. Through those chairmen, they know how many people under them in that community. So instead of going through the politicians or the well-wishers of the same party or the same group, no, this will not reach the masses. People that are very close to the masses knows how they can fit them and get them what means government is giving to them. That's just my advice.
Sir, if you're opportunity to meet Mr. President one-on-one today, what will you tell him based on what is going on in the country?
If you are giving me this opportunity, thank you for that. There are so many things I have to advise the president on what to do in regards to what is happening to COVID-19, to Nigeria in particular, and the world in general. Foremost, there are palliative being set up by the government. But within our level here, I'm talking from Kubwa, Bazago West, pipeline. We have a structure here where you have chairman, organized structure, chairman, vice chairman, secretary, who are adherent to the traditional council. We hold meeting with traditional council, we hold meeting with federal agencies like the police and other security outfits in this community. We think that the best way to solve the alleviation of suffering in this our area, based on what we are seeing and hearing in the media of how people are suffering, the best option is to meet the agencies in Nigeria that will be responsible for sharing.
Many thanks for joining us again on the security of the situation room of COVID-19 Television Nigerian. Just a quick reaction to some of the comments being made by the people talk to the president talking about the COVID-19, especially those in the FCT. Recently, we had an interface with the chairman in charge of the distribution of palliatives for the FCT. They have not started distributing. They are rounding up on the modalities to ensure that it goes round as it's supposed to be. And he gave a very sound affirmative that from Friday, the palliatives are going to start going round the local councils. If you have put down your name, rest assured, if you qualify to collect it, you are definitely going to get it. We saw a whole warehouse of food, rice, yams, and a whole lot for FCT residents. So please just calm down. They are planning something very fantastic for FCT residents. And we also hope governments all over in Nigeria, in the states, you have been listening to us, you've been listening to Nigerians complaining about palliatives. Please, the little you can do at this point in time is definitely going to be appreciated. And also, Nigerians, let's try to be civil. We've talked about being civil when we go out there and security operatives accost you. Be civil, be nice, just polite, answer, do what they ask you to do, and I'm very, very sure you are not going to run into any form of trouble. Now, gentlemen in the studio, we've all shared our experiences. We've seen what is happening in the news, what Nigerians are going through, and all of that. I want to give your final word, starting with from Mr. Lawrence, especially about the security situation. We saw the report of the NHRC about the number of deaths arising from the lockdown, even overtaking the deaths from the COVID-19 itself. Yes. What should Nigerians actually do, especially at this point in time?
If you have 18 people killed by security operatives in the process of a lockdown against 12 killed by the coronavirus itself, it's shameful. Security agencies must up their games. Don't allow the depression of an average Nigerian get to you. You ought to be more civil. That is why you are an officer gentleman. No matter the provocation, just let it go. Killing anybody would not resolve any issue. Nigerians, on the other part, must also understand that there is nothing that politesse cannot help you to achieve. No matter how daring, no matter how haggard, no matter how brutal that official seems to be, he's also a human being who has got families. And your approach to them matters a lot. They have left their families to be on the road, on the street, to protect every one of us. You must show them some respect. You don't talk down on them, because sometimes you think you are so educated, and the common security man who may not have your level of education, you don't assault him or rubbing it on his face like that. Show him some respect too, and I think everyone will be fine.
All right, Mr. Dan, a lot has been said about the COVID-19. It is a social problem, but in Nigeria here you've seen a lot of political solutions being applied to a social problem.
Yeah.
Now I want you to direct this to politicians, because I think you have an affiliation to politicians, especially when it comes to palliatives. This is no time for partisan politics. Nigerians need help. The disease is right there and it's affecting everybody, especially those who are going to be in charge of providing succor in this time of distress.
You have said it all yourself, and they've listened, and I could only join my voice, my patriotic voice, to say this is time to separate politics from governance, from welfare, give to everybody. And my advice to the security operatives too is to keep to the etiquette, the code of conduct of the force, and as well as maintain in the civil society, maintain civility in the civil society. Be humane. You will be respected for sure for the uniform or the card you are carrying. You are the defender of our sovereignty. I don't think you need to go hard on citizens, especially judging from the fact that they are suffering psychologically at this moment where palliative haven't got to many of them. So it is important that we show decorum and we behave properly at times like this. Let's be our brother's keeper. That's what I have to say from the television Nigerian studio this morning.
All right, and also just joining to the security operatives actually right now, the fact that you're having a gun or you are in an armored vehicle does not make you immune to coronavirus. So please, you are not exempted from all the rules about keeping safe. A policeman and a soldier can also be infected with the coronavirus. So please try and get a nose mask, get a glove, use hand sanitizer, maintain the social distances or the physical distancing as been given out by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, so that we need you to be alive for you to be able to police the community, to police the populace that you are protecting right now. That's how much we are going to take from the COVID-19 Situation Room today. And it's been Mr. Daniel Atai in the Situation Room. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for
and also
having me.
Mr. Lawrence Audu has also been in the Situation Room. Very much thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And also to you out there, so many thanks for you, for those of you that wrote in, those of you that tried to call in but couldn't connect us due to poor network connection. Definitely tomorrow is another day. Always join us on the Situation Room, where we'll give you an update on what is happening and of course tips on how best to stay safe in a COVID-19 situation. We'll do this again same time tomorrow. Many thanks for watching. I am Charles Ibe.
Herbal medicine, also known as a tradomedicine, is the study of botany and the use of medicinal plants. Plants have been the basis for medical treatments through much of human history, and such traditional medicine is still practiced today. A Soma Herbal Institute was established by Solomon Balo Sabina to research into various herbs for the improvement of human health. The Herbal Institute came into full operation on the 20th of March 2000. The Institute, apart from research work, carries out consultation with the aim of administering the products of their research on patients with various ailments.
The name of this herb is andrographis paniculata. Google and you find what it does in the body. The Bible tells us that all things work together for good. I will one other way say thank God for COVID-19, because any little headache, Nigerians are going abroad for treatment. Now they will be forced to look inward. The answer is here. The answer is with us here. Please believe in Nigeria.
But Soma Herbal Products becomes the answer to COVID-19 pandemic. We only hope that the opportunity has once again presented itself. Rather than fold up and lock up yourself in fear, the solution is not far from you. Soma Herbal Product is the answer to COVID-19 pandemic.
Stay at home, stay at home. Corona de forodo, stay at home. My sister, stay at home, stay at home. Corona de forodo, so just stay at home. Stay at home, stay at home. Corona no dey look face, stay at home, stay at home, oh stay at home. For you to live a long life, stay at home. No wedding, at home. No school, no stay at home. No go church, stay at home. No visit, stay at home. No hunger, stay at home. Just prayer, stay at home. Only prayer for you. Serious prayer, stay at home. For you to live a long life.